Alright, so Pokemon X and Y launched over a decade ago, and aside from making me feel ancient, it has also made me feel really nostalgic. I've been replaying all the Pokemon games over the past few years whenever I either get sick or extremely depressed and just don't want to leave my bed, but it's also pretty nice to go back and revisit these games if I'm trying to shiny hunt and do hordes and stuff like that. While doing that, I was recently reminded of the strangest and probably worst retcon that the franchise has ever made. Every new Pokemon game since Gen 3 has introduced some kind of new battle gimmick. Gen 3 had double battles, Gen 4 had the physical special split, and Gen 5 had rotation battles, triple battles, and gems. That was the gen that I skipped because I was too cool for Pokemon and decided to spend my money painting Lego figures to look like video game characters, but I am doing my best to complete every aspect of Black 2 on a real cartridge, and definitely not my phone or anything like that. Nintendo, please don't send me to a labor camp. Gen 6 added the most obvious and arguably most well-received and iconic gimmick, Mega Evolution. Fans have been wondering if we were ever going to get a third stage evolution for Pokemon, or if certain Pokemon that were powerful enough on their own get even more powerful, and this was GameFreak's answer. Mega Evolution gave Pokemon a stat increase of 100 points. It was not always just an extra 100 tacked onto one stat. In cases like Mega Garchomp, it actually had points from its speed stat redistributed, arguably making it worse than the regular one in competitive play to regular Garchomp. Pokemon X and Y added 28 Mega Evolutions to the game, and you might be thinking, wow, 28 opportunities for underutilized or underpowered Pokemon to get new forms that could make them really viable, and you would not be faulted for expecting it to have a lot of Gen 1 fan service for already popular and powerful Gen 1 Pokemon. The worst part is, many of these forms weren't even that great compared to the base ones. The mechanic was loved by the majority of the community, however. Following games continued to use this feature. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire added 22 more Mega Evolutions. They even added primal forms for the box legendaries, which dominated the competitive scene for years, and introduced Mega Rayquaza, which to this day is the only Mega that can evolve without holding a Mega Stone. So with this mechanic being successful and well received, it would continue in the next generation, right? Well, despite continuing the trend between X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the games had different directors, and the director of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire directed the first installments of the next generation of games. They decided to introduce a new concept for a gimmick called Z-moves. If you thought the Mega Evolution animation in battle was difficult to watch every time you used it because you dropped your 2DS a few times, you're gonna love this one. Z-moves were something that nobody is really begging to make a return, but they had these Z-crystals that allowed Pokemon to use an extremely powerful move of a specific type once per battle. Some of them had unique signature Z-moves that were exclusive to them. However, they were obviously not as cool as Mega Evolutions. So how does Game Freak get fans to prefer one over the other if it is not visually or conceptually as appealing? By retconning the whole Mega Evolution occurs because of friendship or a strong bond or whatever that Gen 6 added. Now, Mega Evolution is excruciatingly torturous for some of your Pokemon. I'm gonna go through some of the Pokedex entries from Gen 7 that did not have anything in Gen 6 to back them up. In Sun and Moon, Mega Alakazam's entry states, as a result of Mega Evolution, its power has been entirely converted into psychic energy, and it has lost all strength in its muscles. This one isn't too bad and kinda makes sense. In Ultra Sun, Mega Gengar's Dex entry states, it tries to take the lives of anyone and everyone. It will even try to curse the trainer who is its master. They tried to walk this back a bit in Let's Go, and I can't tell if that's because those games were meant for a younger demographic, or if they really started to regret these changes that they introduced. In Let's Go, the Dex entry says, it can pass through other dimensions and appear anywhere. It caused a stir one time when it stuck just one leg out of a wall. So, they made it go from being a sociopathic mass murderer to a goofy little guy. This one's also really confusing because I didn't think that it had legs just based off the way that it looks. Mega Kangaskhan has less terrifying and more unsettling entries. In Sun, it states, Mega Kangaskhan's strength derives from the mother's happiness about her child's growth. Watching it grow keeps her spirits high. But in Moon, thanks to Mega Evolution, its child grows. But as the child is good only at fighting and nothing else, its mother feels uneasy about its future. Then in Ultra Sun, the explosive energy the child is bathed in causes temporary growth. The mother is beside herself with worry about it. And in Ultra Moon, when the mother sees the back of her Mega Evolved child, it makes her think of the day when her child will inevitably leave her. Only for them to also walk this back in Let's Go. Its child has grown rapidly thanks to the energy of Mega Evolution. Mother and child show off their harmonious teamwork in battle. Mega Gyarados' Ultra Sun entry says, Mega Evolution places a burden on its body, the stress causes it to become all the more ferocious. This one isn't too bad, but still highlights how stressful the transformation is for some reason. Then Let's Go really walks this back with, although it obeys its instructive drive to destroy everything within its reach, it will respond to orders from a trainer it truly trusts. Mega Scizor has one of the worst ones. Once again from Ultra Sun, it stores the excess energy from Mega Evolution, so after a long time passes, its body starts to melt. That's horrific. Mega Heracross has a similar one in Ultra Moon. A tremendous influx of energy builds it up, but when Mega Evolution ends, Heracross is bothered by terrible soreness in its muscles. Mega Houndoom's Ultra Sun entry says its red claws and the tips of its tail are melting from high internal temperatures that are painful to Houndoom itself. Mega Tyranitar's Ultra Sun entry says, due to the colossal power poured into it, the Pokemon's back split right open. Its destructive instincts are the only thing keeping it moving. Mega Absol's isn't disturbing, but it just outright states that it does not like Mega evolving in Ultra Sun. Normally, it dislikes fighting, so it really hates changing into this form for battle. Good thing most people don't use Mega Absol, I guess, because it's terrible competitively. Mega Garchomp's Ultra Sun entry claims, its arms and wings melted into something like scythes. Mad with rage, it rampages on and on, which does sound incredibly painful. Mega Sableye may have the worst ones, once again from Ultra Sun. Bathed in energy of Mega Evolution, the gemstone in its chest expands, rips through the skin, and falls out. What are we even doing here? This is supposed to be a game about catching little creatures and being friends with them and fighting, not watching them get horrifically tortured. Mega Glalie has a pretty horrible one too. In Sun it states, the excess energy from Mega Evolution spilled over from its mouth, breaking its jaw. It spews endless blizzards, and then in Moon, it envelops prey in its mouth, freezing them instantly, but its jaw is dislocated so it's unable to eat them. And the last one comes from Ultramoon. The power of Mega Evolution was so strong that it smashed Glalie's jaw. Its inability to eat very well leaves it irritated. So at the end of the day, it sounds like Ultra Sun is really going heavy with the Pro Z move propaganda that was being pushed in Gen 7. It really feels like the Pokemon Company wanted to guilt people into not liking the coolest gimmick that they've ever made. They should have just made Z moves better if they wanted people to not use Mega Evolutions despite them still being in the game. I hope that they don't continue this trend in Legend ZA.
I'm begging you, please. Please, I want you to genuinely smile, please.
They might tie this into some of the roaming alpha Mega Evolutions that have been showed off though, tying the discomfort into the reason for them rampaging through the city, but it does still diminish the whole friendship thing that Gen 7 was really heavy on, and used to establish how fun the Mega Evolution mechanic was. What do you guys think? Are they going to continue making Mega Evolutions seem like you're abusing your Pokemon going forward, or have they finally just embraced that this mechanic is a core part of the franchise at this point? We have had a few years without them, and a few years expanding the roster of gimmicks over the years. Are you excited for Legend ZA, or do you hope that they bring back some other gimmicks in the future instead? Let me know in the comments. Later.